Welcome back to the Unpack Mindset, folks. Hopefully, you guys are having a good midweek. If you're not, hey, hopefully, I can turn that frown upside down. So, nothing like a little detox, right? Detox from all the stuff that's going on in the world today, man. You know, the wars, the conflicts, the politics, man. You know, nothing like clearing your head, right? And that's what I'm here for, right? If I can provide a little clarity, man, if I can turn that frown upside down midweek, I'm doing my job. So, man, what are we going to talk about today, right? So today I want to talk to you guys real quick about physical interactions. Okay, you know, like you know, before, the kind of interactions that we used to have before disrespect and politics became the new love language, and I'm serious, man. Hear me out. We used to frequently interact with each other on a whole different level, regardless if it was negative or a positive interaction. If there was things that we needed to clear up, it was resolved, right? It was resolved because something about being physically present when there's like miscommunication, it's just different, right? There's a lot more clarity because sometimes when we're interacting via social media or a text, you don't really know what's behind what's actually being sent to you. It's just different. Just recently I was listening to an interview being done by Theo Vaughn, and he had mentioned something that stuck with me. And he said that eventually, we're going to put smiles in museums, because what he was alluding to was because people are becoming addicted to artificial intelligent expressions, and that that realness is becoming a rarity, right? Now it's crazy because I see people who struggle now. They struggle to make like simple eye contact. It's almost like as if they're expecting it to be there momentarily. We built this whole tech world to connect us, right? But somehow all it did was teach us how to ghost each other faster, right? It just it kind of like replaced an empty space where somebody actually was there present for us to talk to. It's like our brains are being rewired daily, man. And it's not for joy. It's mainly built for judgment. So we can all just go after one another, and you feel it. You open your phone in the morning, and you get blasted with propaganda before you even have your first sip of coffee. This is what you should believe, and here's what you should fear. These are the kind of people you're supposed to hate. And by the way, you're a failure at everything. You're just not doing it right, and this is what you need to do, right? And and it's like the world turned into like this big symposium of anxiety, man. It really did. And everybody's playing the tambourine, man, into the next war, into the next conflict, and everyone's just posted up, right, to see what's gonna happen. Man, sometimes I feel like all this and everything that's going on. Sometimes I feel like it's like our taxes and our sanity are sandwiched between two slices of bread, right? And the only difference between these two groups consuming this sandwich is like one is using a fork and the other one is using their hands. It feels like that. And I'm trying not to go there, right? Because I feel like the hardest thing for all of us to do is to put our pride aside, and to accept that we're being lied to. That's tough, man. That's tough, right? You know, this show right here, I feel like this episode is for everyone who's exhausted and of being propagandized, right? And tired of all the doom scrolling, or tired of being told we're all like circling the drain, right? And heading nowhere. I don't know, man. You know, it feels like folks forgot that common decency, it's not an app feature. You know, you don't need a terms and condition agreement to be respectful. Just unplug for a week, man. You might stop being an asshole. It's not that complicated, right? You might start enjoying life. You might start enjoying life. You know, sometimes I picture God looking at us right now and thinking, man, I should have kept the flood on a timeline, right? I'm not trying to poke fun at this whole situation, but it's like people arguing over pineapple over pizza, man. We got so many bad things going on, and we're just forgetting to interact. So look, this week, try to rewire your brain back to life, right? You know, touch some grass, tell somebody they got a nice haircut, even though that's a horrible fade. You know, uh, tell somebody, tell somebody, hey, hope you have a great day, right? Go eat a taco without documenting your experience. Don't let all these digital vibes hijack your natural instincts to enjoy life, man. Have a sense of humor. You know, these are the emotions that keep this algorithm that we're hopping onto from rebooting itself. And remember, even if there's influence out there, selling you inner peace from like this resort out in Bali, or somewhere really nice, they still have to fight to go get gas, man. They still have to do everything that we do. Nobody's above the struggle, right? So, man, laugh about it, man. Be kind, right? And just live your life right now that you can, right now that you can actually unplug from everything that's going on, man. And it's healthy. It's healthy to just put that device down and get out there and just do things. Go for a hike or whatever. You know. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you with this message, and just I hope you guys have a great rest of the evening. And yeah, thank you for showing up.